Hi everyone, we're looking at still investigation 3, but now question number 3. So I've skipped over number 2. It's up to you to figure out what to do with number 2. Please notice which direction it will be moving in and by how much distance, and then figure out how many grid marks that is to be moving. Okay, so this one, number 3, is y equals sine of, in brackets, x subtract 2. Notice there's no pi here. There's no pi here. So this is going to be a horizontal translation. It's in that position. Horizontal translation, 2 units to the right. To the right. Okay, horizontal translation, 2 units to the right. It's not pi over 2 units. It's not pi. It's the number 2. So we need to figure out on our grid here, how far is 2? All right, so basically we're thinking about, oh, well, I know pi is around 3.14. I know half of pi is half of that. So if you did that out on your calculator, you get 1.57. And that what if we go halfway between there? What do we get? Well, let's figure out 1.57, find the average of those two, 11, 7. 4.71, so that would be around 2.35, would be exactly in the middle there. Okay, now what about halfway in between 1.57 and 2.35? We need to figure out where is the number 2 on this number line that is measured in radians. This is pi over 2 radians, which is around 1.57 radians. This next grid mark would be 2.35 radians. We need to figure out where is 2. So let's figure out the halfway point between 1.57 and 2.35. 12, 8, 9, 3.92. If we divide that by 2, find the middle, 19. 1.96 is exactly in the middle of 1.57 and 2.35. So basically we need to move everything from, if I was moving this dot here, that point there on y equals sine x, I need to move it to over here, which is basically 2.5 grid marks on this number line, on the scale of this x-axis. Okay, so you need to make sure that you're being careful about that. Everything's moving to the right because of this. Looks the opposite of what it actually is. Moving to the right, and that many grid marks. Okay, so you can go ahead and fill out this table by actually putting pi in here and then figuring out the number in, again, in decimals. But it's easier actually to just figure out the transformation and then move y equals sine x by that transformation. So here we have this dot moves 2.5 grid marks over to here. This moves 2.5 grid marks over to here. This moves 2.5 grid marks over to here, and this one also 2.5 grid marks. So this portion, this is just a black dot. Origin, that's the first one I moved. Okay. So this graph is like this. And yes, we need to go back the other way as well, make some smooth curves there. So this dot moves 2.5 grid marks. This one, 2.5 grid marks. This one, 2.5 grid marks. This one, 2.5 grid marks. All right, so here's the rest of our graph. And we've got more space here, so let's put it in following this same pattern. We go through 0, and then 2 grid marks later, we go through -1. So there we go. All right, so remember to finish your max min. Is the max changing? Is the min changing? No. Is the period changing? No. Is the amplitude changing? No. Is the principal axis changing? No. Okay, so be thinking about what all these words mean and whether comparing them to your original graph y equals sine x, what do they look like? Have fun.